For this tutorial, I will be using the Loops and Threads Soft and Shiny Acrylic Yarn. This is the colorway Orchid. It's a beautiful light purple. Loops and Threads Soft and Shiny Yarn recommends a hook size of 5.5 millimeters. I will be using one that's slightly smaller just to get a tighter stitch. I'll be using a 5 millimeter hook from Tulip. Now, this hook is part of a set. I love this set. I bought it when I first started crocheting, and I will link it in the description box below. To start this snowflake flower, we're going to make a slip knot, place it on our hook, and we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to slip stitch into that first chain to make a loop. For our first round, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to place 12 single crochets working directly into the center of that loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. After you've made 12 single crochets, you should have something that looks like this. I crocheted over the tail of my yarn just so you wouldn't have to weave in so much at the end. I'm going to tuck that back here to get out of the way. Now we're going to slip stitch into the very first stitch we made to finish that round. So it should look something like this after round 1. To start round 2, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to place a double crochet right into the base of where we just slip stitched. So that counts as 2 double crochets to start off the second round. Now we're going to place 2 double crochets in every single stitch around this loop. Two double crochets, two double crochets, two double crochets, two double crochets. I will meet you at the very end of the round. At the end of this round, you should have 24 double crochets in your round because we made 12 single crochets and then placed 2 double crochets in each of those 12 for a total of 24. We're going to end this round by slip stitching into the top of that chain 3 that you made to start the round. And at the end of round 2, you should have something that looks like this. To start round 3, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to place 1 single crochet into the stitch you just slip stitched into. So just 1 single crochet. Now we're going to go around and place 1 single crochet in each of these stitches all the way around. So 1 single crochet in the next stitch, a single crochet in the following stitch. We're going to keep going this way all the way around, and I will meet you at the end of this round. At the end of the round, we're going to slip stitch into the first stitch that we made. And at the end of round 3, you should have something that looks like this. Don't worry if it's curling up a little bit. That's normal because we did not increase in this round. To start round 4, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet right back into that place where we placed the slip stitch. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're going to single crochet into the following stitch. Now we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to skip 2 stitches and single crochet into the following stitch. Now we're going to repeat that all the way around. Let's do it again together. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, single crochet into the following stitch. Now we should be kind of back to where we started, but we're going to do one last one, chain 5, and we're going to slip stitch right into the single crochet where we started. And that should be what you have at the end of round 4. To start round 5, we are going to chain 1, and we're going to place a single crochet right back into that place where we slip stitched, just to anchor that row. Now we're going to work directly into that chain 5. So just right into, not into the stitches, we're just going to go right into that space. We're going to place 1 half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, now we're going to do something called a 3 picot cluster. So a picot stitch is where you make a little nub on itself just by chaining and then looping in on itself. A 3 picot cluster is making 3 of those, but attaching them all to the same base using a slip stitch. So this is how we're going to do this one. We're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to loop this in on itself and make a little nub by slip stitching into the first of those 4 chains you just made. So we're going to slip stitch into that first chain, slip stitch all the way through. So you have like one little nub just hanging out there. Now to make the 3 part, the second one is you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you slip stitch right back into that same place you just slip stitched. And you're going to do this one more time. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch right back into that same spot. And now you should have almost like a club suit. Or clubs, do they have 4 leaves? But that is what it should look like. It's hard to see, but there we go. It'll become clearer as we finish this petal of the flower. So now we're going to go right back into that chain 5 that you were working in before and place 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 half double crochet all right back into that chain 5 space. And then we're going to end this and anchor it by finding that next single crochet you made, and we're going to single crochet on top of that single crochet. So This is what your first peak slash petal will look like. You see how that 3 picot creates those 3 little bumps at the top of that petal. Now we're going to repeat that all the way around, so let's start in the next one. So we're going to find the next chain 5 space you made in the previous row, which is right here. We're going to place a half double crochet, just one, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to do that 3 picot stitch. So we're going to start by chaining 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to slip stitch into the first of those 4 chains you just made. So slip stitch right into the bottom of that chain 4. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to slip stitch right back where we just slip stitched in that same place. And we're going to do it again. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then slip stitch again into the same place. Now, there's a lot of symmetry in crochet, so we're going to finish off this petal by doing the symmetrical thing. So what we did on the way up, we're going to do on the way down. So 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 half double crochet, and then we're going to find that single crochet that we placed in the previous row, and we're going to place a single crochet right on top of that. And now you should have 2 of these cute little triple picot petals. Let's keep going. So let's find the next chain 5 space that you made in the previous row. We're going to half double crochet right in that chain 5 space. Now place 3 double crochets right in that chain 5 space. Now we're going to do the 3 picot cluster. So 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 4, slip stitch into the first chain you made. It's helpful to hold the top of that a little bit. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch back into the same place you slip stitched before, that base chain. We're going to do it again. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch again into the same base chain. Now we're going to work back into that chain 5 that you were working in before. We're going to place 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then a half double crochet, and then we're going to single crochet into the single crochet from the previous row. We're going to keep going. In the next chain 5 space you made in the previous row, we're going to place a half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Now here's the 3 picot, chain 4, slip stitch into the base, that first chain you just made, chain 3, slip stitch into the same place that you just slip stitched, and then chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and place another slip stitch into that same spot. Now go back into that chain 5 that you were just working in, put 3 double crochets, 1, 2, whoops, 2, 3, 1 half double crochet, and single crochet into the single crochet you made in the previous row. Okay, we're going to keep going like this all the way around until we get back here We're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet to finish off this row, but I will meet you at the end of this round. Now we're just at the last chain 5 space, so we're going to do one more of these. Half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch into that first chain you just made, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch back into the same slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and one more slip stitch into that same slip stitch. Now double crochet 3 times back into the chain 5 space, 1, 2, 2, 3, a half double crochet, and slip stitch into the first single crochet you made in that row. And at the end of round 5, you should have something that looks like this. It's really pretty and it's starting to take shape. We're going to start row 6 just like we started all of the other rows. We're going to chain 1 and single crochet right back into that spot where you slip stitched. Now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to find that middle picot in that triple picot right there. We're going to single crochet right into the middle of that picot stitch. Okay, now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to find the next single crochet we did in between these two petals. So mine is right here, and we're going to single crochet into that. So what we're doing is we are crocheting an arch basically around those peaks. Now we're going to repeat this all the way around, so chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Find the next triple picot, and we're going to go into the middle one, and we're going to single crochet right into the middle picot. And we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to find the next single crochet in between the two peaks. I'm going to place a single crochet into that one. Chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoops. 7. Find the next triple picot and single crochet right into the middle one. Chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Find the next single crochet in between the two peaks. We're going to continue this all the way around, and I will meet you back at the beginning after you've done the last single crochet in the picot, chain 7, slip stitch into the very first single crochet you made in this round. And we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet we made in this row. And that is the end of row 6. So you should have something that looks like this. To start row 7, which is the final row of this beautiful motif, we are going to do it the same way that we started in the previous rows. We're going to chain 1. And what we're going to do is we want to work directly into this first chain 7 space. We're actually only going to be working into all the chain 7 spaces in this row. So to start that, we're just going to slip stitch. It's kind of like cheating. It's not cheating. I think it's an official technique, but we're just going to slip stitch directly into that chain 7 space just so we're already in it. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work 8 single crochets into this chain 7 space. So we're going to basically cover this chain 7 with 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we should be at the top. What we're going to do here is we're going to place a triple picot at the top of this peak. So it's the same that we did 2 rows ago. So we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to slip stitch into the base chain that we just made, the first one. We're going to slip stitch right into there. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch back into that same slip stitch. Going to chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch back into that exact slip stitch, and that should be your picot. So it looks a little bit like this. Now, on our way down, we're going to work into the next chain 7 space right here. We're going to place 8 single crochets. Just go right into that chain 7 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it should look something like this. What that does is that it gives that peak a bit of structure, and I think it looks so pretty. It looks quite regal, doesn't it? It almost looks like a little crown or a tiara, and the little picot at the top just adds a little something. And we're going to continue like that all the way around, and you don't have to slip stitch into the next space. You can just start working directly into it. So we're going to put 8 single crochets into the next chain 7 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At the top, we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch into that first of those 4 chains. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into that same stitch you just slip stitched into. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch again into that stitch you just slipped into. So you have a little cluster at the top. Now we're going to work into the next chain 7 space with 8 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's 2 done. You can see It's a little bit imbalanced because the other ones aren't done yet, but you can get an idea of what's happening. All right, let's keep going. 8 single crochets in the next chain 7 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now a 3 picot cluster. So chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch into the first chain you just made. Chain 3. Slip stitch into the same place. Chain 3. Slip stitch again into the same spot. Now we're going to find the next chain 7 space, and we're going to place 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to go into the next chain 7 space and place 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do a triple picot, so chain 4, slip stitch into the base, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the same chain, chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the same chain. Now find the next chain 7 space and place 8 single crochets in the next chain 7 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I will continue all the way around and I'll meet you right back where we started. On our last bit here, so we're going to slip stitch into, I guess it's not a single crochet, it's the slip stitch that we started with. We're just going to slip stitch into that stitch in between those 2 peaks, and we're going to fasten off. This is a very pretty snowflake-ish floral motif that I think would look great for fall and winter projects, especially as we go into the holidays. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.